So, Hannah, recently, you and I are doing some music things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Related on two fronts to things that we've done on this channel. As this is an episode for Songs of the Summer, if you have seen the title.
In summertime, we're recording.
In summertime. Yeah, I mean, it's close. It's fall-ish, close enough. Within the month. And the other thing is we've also been covering Avatar: The Last Airbender related content.
Yes.
So last week, Hannah, as a early Christmas gift, took me to the 20th anniversary Avatar: The Last Airbender orchestra performance.
Yeah. We've discussed this before on this podcast, that we do experience gifts for each other. Usually like concerts, or like Alyssa took me to like a cooking class last year, stuff like that. And my little eyes spotted an email from a place near us that does concerts. And I saw 20th anniversary Avatar. And I said, me and Alyssa talked about this last year.
We did, yeah.
But there was no one near us, or it was expensive. And so I went on there and I ordered some tickets.
Yeah. So I had a couple comments that I thought would be fun for us to discuss, just as an orchestra type, because I don't know if I've seen like an orchestra performance, solely an orchestra performance, other than we went and saw a Harry Potter movie with a live orchestra.
Right. And same for me too.
Yeah. And obviously musicals and things that,
I mean, we saw Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah.
But they're kind of like a rock.
Yeah, right.
I guess that kind of orchestra,
yeah. I guess that's on a similar vein. But for one, I think we should talk about the audience, in that it was a kind of surprisingly large diversity of people and ages,
right?
And kids to older adults. When going in, I was like, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of different types of people here. And it kind of seemed that way. Some people in cosplay.
Yeah.
We saw two different older women, dressed to the nines, top hats,
they had
colored hats.
One had a full blue outfit, one had a full green outfit.
And
loved
it.
it.
Loved it for those, for those ladies.
And it's cool to see. I kind of thought might be a lot of people around our age, within 10 years, younger, older, just because that's kind of the generation of when the show came out. But it was cool to see kids enjoying it. It was cool to see people who were a lot older. And I'm like, some of these people might not even know the show really and just come for the performances, which is cool. But yeah, it was a cool audience. And everyone's energy was really good.
Yeah, it's good energy. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to ask you. So just the general, how they framed the show, they kind of went through each book and did music. Some of them were accompanied by the actual scenes. Some of them were just clips. Some of it was just the music. It kind of depended on what part. But they covered roughly chronologically from book 1, 2 to 3, but they didn't go chronologically necessarily within each book. Sometimes they went in different order than the actual show went, and I was like, it made sense, the way they kind of framed it. The original composer, I think, arranged this tour. So, did you cry at any point during the show?
Yes.
Or tear up, or have
Yeah, I mean, I think before the show even started, we both were when Leaves of the Vine comes on, we're done, and everyone around us was sniffling, and the tears came out. So I cried during that. I teared up in another scene with Zuko and Uncle Iroh, and then weirdly towards one, I think the scene with Aang and the Fire Lord, I started to tear up, and I think it was just the grandness of it all, and something about I've always been a person who gets very emotional while listening to music, and I know not everyone does, but I tend to get emotional. I tend to cry a lot during music just because it resonates with me. And I think especially a show like that where it's nostalgic.
Yeah.
We grew up watching it, and being in a group of people and where everyone's sort of starting to feel the emotions all at once, when you go to a movie and everyone's crying, it kind of almost adds to the emotion.
Yeah, I think so.
As opposed to just being by yourself. So yeah, I did definitely tear up.
Yeah.
Did you tear up?
I did, yes. My prediction before the start of the show is that I would cry 3 times.
Yes.
I was pretty close, pretty accurate, but I would say I not necessarily, like, just listening to music. I definitely get, like, emotional feelings. I don't often cry just listening to music itself, but music paired with, like, emotional moments, that I think heightens, like, an emotional moment and makes it you feel more with a music. A musical score can really elevate a scene, or not elevate a scene, depending on how good a quality it is. But yeah, like, right when it started and they were kind of playing the, like, opening credits, like, that got me a little, like, I didn't cry, but I was really, like, I was feeling welling. I was like, oh, this is so, like, I was just like, oh, it's, like, emotional. But yeah, Leaves from the Vine got me. I was like, if they play that, I'm going. And it was funny because somewhere during the show, I was like, if they play the scene where Uncle Iroh and Zuko reunite, I'm gonna cry. And then they did, and I was like, yep, that's gonna get, because that just gets me in the show when I've watched it. But those were the two, like, I had at least one tear or two come down. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. So my next question is, was there, like, what was your favorite moment of the show? And or was there a moment that surprised you, like, how much you liked that section or that scene that you weren't necessarily expecting to, like, wow, I'm surprised I really liked this?
I was blown away, and I know we discussed this, by the fact that the parts that sounded like drums, like the those were like people singing it.
That was shocking to me.
And they only had 4 singers total. Right. Two male voices, 2 female voices. I was very impressed by how consistent they were. I know that's what they do for a living, but it was very impressive. I mean, I expected like all of the fight scenes to be, like, very dramatic and really like those. I think the scene with I can't remember now. The scene with Aang and the Fire Lord, which I kind of already touched on. Yeah. That was, like, very intense and, like, very grand. And I think I very much enjoyed that. That was probably my favorite, like, montage, like, scene for, like, the grandness of it. I don't know. There was multiple things that I liked. There was a part with, where Appa's, like, Lost Days, where I felt like the music was very, like, so much added to the emotion, was, like, very small at parts, but also very emotional. So I really enjoyed that. I'm trying to think if there was anything that, like, surprised me that I didn't. I mean, it was cool to get Secret Tunnel at the end.
Yeah, they did do a Secret Tunnel rendition at the very end.
But, I don't know. Besides that, I feel like those were the ones that stick out. Obviously, like, the scene with Zuko and his grandpa, or uncle, Uncle Iroh. His grandpa. Yeah, I would say those 2 in particular, though, were the ones that, like, stand out when I'm trying to think about it. I know there's probably moments that I just am not remembering, but yeah. Yeah,
Aang versus Ozai, like, the Avatar State fight, I thought, just in the show, it's really well done, but it was also really well done. My most surprising one that I, like, was like, wow, this is really good, like, with a live orchestra, was actually the scene where Aang and Zuko are learning from the dragons.
Oh, yes.
Because it was really good. Like, I was like, because that, like, I've liked that moment in the show, but I never was like, wow, this is, like, incredible. Yes. But seeing it live, I was like, this is maybe my favorite, like, song from the night. Like, just watching it live was very, like, it really elevated it. I was really surprised that that was probably my favorite moment. Going in, it wasn't. I wasn't even thinking about it.
And now that I'm thinking about it, I do remember getting chills. Yeah. I did kind of forget, but yeah, that was very good. Yeah. Very good.
I liked that a lot, and then I've always really liked the last Agni Kai, because it's really, like, quiet, and somber, and it was good as I thought. Yeah. My last question, if you can remember, because I know you have a horrible memory. Is there any musical moments from the show that you wanted to see or hear but wasn't in it? Because obviously they didn't have everything, because you're covering an entire show in, like, a 2-hour time frame. I have one in mind, or maybe 2 in mind, that I had thought about, that I was like, oh, they didn't play this or this. But if you don't remember, that's also fine.
I'm trying to think.
I can give mine if you want.
Yeah, maybe you go first, and then I'll...
There's 2 moments that I think of that I remember the music being really impactful, but I understand why they wouldn't put in there. There's one moment from... It's in book 2. It's when they're fighting that giant drill, and, like, Aang is going to, like, deliver the final blow to, like, shut it down. I remember that music being really good. But I understand, because that's just, like, a singular moment, and I get why they wouldn't do that. And then the other song I really like, and again, I get why they wouldn't do it, is they play this music when, after Zuko and Ira reunite, and they're trying to figure out, like, how they need to tackle, like, these certain things, and, like, Ira's giving a speech. Like, there's a lot of music that plays behind that that's, like, really well done. But again, I get why they wouldn't play that, because that whole section already had so many other songs from it. But those were the two that I was, like, I remember really liking that music, but and it was not on the show, but I understand why they didn't do it.
Yeah, honestly, I can't think of, and I've only seen the show all the way through, like, 1.5 times.
Right.
So I think that might be part of it. All the, like, big moments I remember were in that. But yeah, I can't think of any specific scenes that, like, I would have wanted to hear that, like, weren't in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think they did a pretty good job of,
they
like,
covered, like, a pretty wide variety of types of music.
Right.
And
the way
scenes.
they combined certain parts together, I thought worked really well. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, thought that was just... cover that for if you are ever interested. I would highly recommend, like, that type of a show. Yeah. I know they do them for, like, Game of Thrones. They
apparently do Twilight.
They do them for a variety of things. So I thought it was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was well done.
It's a different art medium.
Right.
It's cool to see. Like, the Harry Potter was really cool. Basically, they just played the entire movie and played the music along with it.
Yeah.
But any sort of thing like that, I think, is really cool, just to... You get to, like, hear a concert, but it's like a different way to do it, because it's not just music. There's visuals involved, and they do them for so many different things, which is cool.
I think it's also because, like, obviously when you're, like, watching something like a movie or TV show, the music is part of it, but it's not the main focus.
Right.
Whereas, like, this really elevates and pushes the music forward, so you kind of can pick up on things you maybe, like, didn't know, like the fact that we didn't know those people chanting and not, like, an instrument. I just assumed that was an instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was fun.
I was really impressed. The group that did it is, like, a touring group.
Yes,
so they've been doing the show. There was not a lot of people.
No.
And
it's like, there were people playing, there was a guy I saw switching between,
like, percussion
four
were
or
doing
five,
multiple things.
4 or 5 different, and he was playing, like, oboe and like, clarinet and flute and, like, a smaller type of flute thing.
It was really impressive, the music they created with, like, a small group of people, which I thought was really cool. But, so we support arts.
Yeah.
We love arts, musicals.
I mean, obviously, if literally all we cover, pretty much majority of what we cover.
But yeah, if obviously, some things are not, like, affordable to people, but there's a lot of, like, free events, or, like, even, like, colleges and local schools will put on plays and productions and stuff. I would encourage people, if you can, to go out and support local arts and support
and enrich your own.
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe find some new hobby or thing you enjoy. Yeah. It's the songs of the summer.
In October.
Year
5.
Year
5. This actually might be our longest running series.
Yeah.
Year 5, Songs of the Summer.
Welcome. This is Research Rank Repeat. This is co-host Hannah.
And this is co-host Alyssa.
And we're back.
We are, to do one of our repeating entries, the Songs of the Summer list.
Yeah, if this is your first time listening to our podcast or to Songs of the Summer, Alyssa goes through the Hot 100.
Well, no, that's part of it.
Alyssa goes through the top.
So Billboard. I'll take over. Billboard, the Billboard charts releases during the summer, which is usually between Memorial Day to Labor Day, roughly. It's not always the exact dates, but they release a Songs of the Summer playlist, or a list. It's the top 20 songs throughout the summer each week, and they'll cover that. And that is our basis of what we cover. Yes. However, what ends up happening every year, and it's without fail, is this list rarely changes. Right. It's pretty much stagnant the entire 3 months that it's on, and because it's 20 songs and maybe like 5 get added, it's hard for us to look at a list of 25 songs and then have to pick a top 5 best, top 5 worst. So the way that we've been supplementing it is I go to the Hot 100 chart, the same time frame, the same weeks, and I get the top 30 songs from there.
Right.
And that generally has given us enough variety to be able to pick a top 5 best and a top 5 worst, quote-unquote, song of the summer.
Right. Yes. Good explanation, because I clearly did not know what I was talking about.
I was going to say, I always do the background, so that's why I was like, let me take over for you.
I just come in and listen.
Yes. You just hand you the playlist and say, here you go.
Yes. This is our 5th year doing it.
Yeah.
Per most years, we tend to see, like, these trends.
Yes.
That happen.
Yeah. Some interesting trends this year.
Yeah.
I am just going to make a bold statement and say this is definitely the worst list we've had.
Weakest list
that we've had so far.
Yes. A lot of very average
songs.
Just okay songs.
Yeah.
A lot of songs that are from years prior.
We'll cover it. I've got a list of some of it. We had a lot of songs from the previous year.
Yes.
We had a lot of songs that I would not, were released last year but are on this list this year. We have songs that, don't feel like songs of summer.
No.
So it's very interesting.
A lot of country.
Yeah.
We did have one movie soundtrack that had quite a few songs.
Yeah.
Kind of an interesting list. Very hard to pick a top 5 for me, just because I felt like it's hard for me because I don't want to pick songs that I've been listening to personally for years that don't feel like a song of the summer currently, or songs that I've had on previous years.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a hard pick.
Interesting year.
But do you have any specific facts, background, anything you'd like to go into? I
always do. So usually what I do is, the way this works is that I will go through and I update the list about halfway through, so that way we have a list of, just kind of get started on it. I can kind of follow the trends a little easier, and then I add the second list once we've reached the end. So this year our list started in June 6th, that was week 1, and ended September 6th, so that was the last week, which I think was 14 weeks. 14 weeks. So that our list covered 14 weeks of time. Initially, so our summer songs list, that's what I go to first. I upload all those first, and then once that's done, I go back and do Hot 100. So for our summer songs list, they had no repeats from our last year's Song of the Summer list. But, however, there were a few songs that were on last year's Billboard Hot 100 that then made this list. So they had transferred from that list to our list. So those 2 songs were Die With A Smile, which was the Bruno Mars, Lady Gaga, and Pink Pony Club by Chappell Roan. We also then had 6 songs that were on our Hot 100 songs last year in the top 30 that then came back and were still on the Hot 100 top 30 chart this year, which is pretty wild when you think about it.
Yeah.
Those 6 songs were A Bar Song, Tipsy, by Shabuzi, Lose Control, Teddy Swims, Beautiful Things, Benson Boone, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish, I Had Some Help, Morgan Wallen, and Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. Mm-hmm. I thought that was kind of funny, as 2 of those songs were in my top 5 songs of last year, so I was like, well, I already can discount these. And usually, I think mutually both of us, if any songs are repeating from last year, we automatically just discount them for the most part.
I mean, as long as if it's songs I haven't picked, sometimes I'll consider it if it's a song I hadn't picked a previous year, but
I tend to, and this is just for me personally, I generally don't like picking songs that have already been on this list for a year, because it doesn't feel like it's a song of this summer.
Right.
It's different if it's an older song that's returned to the list. That feels different because it's not like it's been in that radio play, constant play for a year. It's an older song is returned. You've seen that with TikTok.
Running Up That Hill from Stranger Things.
Yes. Yep. So that pretty much got rid of 8 songs for me right off the bat, which is helpful. To go over some trends. So the first set I did was June 6th through July 19th. And at that point, we had 25 songs in Songs of the Summer. So we had 25, which is about what we usually would see.
Yep.
At this point, the song Ordinary by Alex Warren, and I had a question mark next to his name, was at the number 1 spot for 7 weeks in a row. So as we started, it was there for 7 weeks, and it had been in the Hot 100 spot for 14 weeks in a row at that point. So it was already in the top spot before we started this time frame, and then it had been going for 7 weeks on. So I looked him up because I was like, who is Alex Warren? Like, I don't know who this person was. Turns out he was a TikTok influencer known for the Hype House and prank videos, and then transitioned into music.
I was familiar with him.
Okay, you were familiar with him.
And I had heard some of his music prior, like to Ordinary coming out, and he always shows up on my reels on Instagram, his videos. So yeah, I was familiar with him at that point, yes.
But anyway, I looked him up because I was just like, who is this? For people who might not know, like me. So Ordinary broke the record for the longest running number one song in the UK of the 2020s, breaking the record set by Ed Sheeran's Bad Habits. If you remember, that song played forever and was one of the songs that repeated from year to year in a previous Songs of the Summer list. And it also is the longest uninterrupted number one song in UK single charts by an American artist. And then I said, thanks, Love is Blind.
Yep.
Because that is what propelled it. I guess the song was used in one of the Love is Blind seasons. So that's just fun fact about that artist, as he sat at number one at this point for 14 weeks. I said that the Hot 100 does differ week one because some years we have a very different list on the Hot 100 top 30 versus the Songs of the Summer top 20. Last year it was the exact same list, like top to bottom, same placement. This year it was different. At this point, Morgan Wallen had 8 songs in the top 20, which was at that point 40% of the songs was Morgan Wallen. Very male-dominated is what I said. And just as a blanket statement, if you haven't listened to previous years, Hannah and I are not fans of Morgan Wallen in a general sense. Either as a person or as an artist, Correct. I would say. That's just because he is a very popular country artist currently. So I just want to put that out there so everyone knows. In the Hot 100, Man Child became the number one song on July 21st and broke Ordinary's 18-week streak at number one. So we did have a song, Sabrina Carpenter, that broke into that number one spot. And at July 19th in total, we had 42 songs. So in July, as we continued, we had 5 new entries into the summer group. And we also had some more Benson Boone join with Mystical Magical was added. Golden, Undressed, and Good News by Shabuzi. So we had a lot of stuff like kind of come in, like sneak in a little bit later. We also had the soundtrack to the movie K-Pop Demon Hunters that had 7 songs join into the, both songs, not all of them in Songs of Summer, but we had 7 eventually in the Hot 100 Top 30 that broke in all throughout July and August into September, which is the first film soundtrack to have 4 songs in the top 10 in the Billboard Hot 100. Yeah. So 4 of the soundtrack songs, that's never been done before. And that was very unique. I don't think we've ever seen a movie soundtrack in our list before.
Not that I can...
We've had songs from movies, but not the soundtrack itself breaking out.
Yeah, because I was thinking of like Barbie. We had Dua Lipa's song and...
I think we just had Dua Lipa's song.
I'm like, what was
What was it made for? Yeah. Maybe. But that's 2. Right. So, yeah, we might have had those 2. Yeah. But yeah, and then we also had Justin Bieber release an album. Yeah. And 4 of his songs were added to this list as well. At August 16th, we also then had a new champion of the Hot 100 spot because Man-Child was then swiftly removed from that. Ordinary went back to number 1. Golden from the K-Pop Demon Hunter soundtrack dethrones Ordinary in the Hot 100 for 1 week. Then Ordinary goes back, and then Golden came back to be number 1 for the last 2 weeks. In our final week of the Hot 100, the spots of 1, 4, and 5 were K-Pop Demon Hunter songs. So you had Golden, and I don't remember what 4 and 5 were. Mm-hmm. Second was Ordinary by Alex Warren, and then 3 was a Morgan Wallen song, and I don't remember which one. I didn't write it down. In the Songs of the Summer, the spots of 1 through 6 stayed exactly the same the entire 14 weeks. There were no changes in spots 1 through 6, which I think is insane. Yeah. Golden got up to 7 in Songs of the Summer. So even though it was number 1 in the Hot 100, it only ever got up to 7 in the Songs of the Summer, which is why I don't know, sometimes the Songs of the Summer list I don't necessarily think is accurate to what we're seeing in trends, because like, sure, it's like Golden did rise, but like year 1 through 6 didn't even change at all.
Right.
Like, they stayed in the same spot for 14 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
And that breakdown, just so we have that, was Ordinary by Alex Warren stayed in number 1 the entire time, 14 weeks straight. You had 3 Morgan Wallen songs in 2, 3, and 4 all stay 14 weeks. Then you had Luther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA. And number 6 was Die With a Smile, Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
So we saw little to no changes in the actual orders for Songs of the Summer. And this year, in total, we saw 59 songs, which is our lowest we've ever had for our grouping. So I'll give you a rundown because I wrote them down. Our first year, 2021, we had 66. 2022, we had 74. 23, we had 93, which was a lot.
Yeah,
if you remember, that's
hard.
the year Beyonce released an album, Drake released an album.
I think Taylor
had an album out. It was a lot. Like, a lot of artists
Right.
just kept releasing songs in the summertime. 2024, we had 68. That was the Pop Girl Summer. And 2025, 59. So that's our lowest we've had so far. My main thing was that it was a weird mix this year. We had a lot of different artists that were unknown, or a lot newer artists had maybe 1 or 2 hits. Like, I had to look up Somber.
Yeah.
Because I was like, who is Somber?
I did. I've seen a lot of his stuff,
yes.
like, appear recently.
So I kind of looked him up because I was curious. And there's some people have a theory that he's an industry plant. Okay. Which I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't look too much into it, and I haven't listened to enough to know. But he basically came in. He was someone who made songs like on TikTok, I think, and Instagram, and then released an album this year. But he went from like unknown to having more monthly listens on Spotify than Beyonce.
Right.
So which and again, this does happen. Some artists do just blow up all of a sudden. But there was people being like, there's some weird stuff going on here with this artist. But so he's an up-and-coming new artist. There's Alex Warren, which I was like, who is that? Like, I don't know who this is. I had to look up a lot of stuff. So it's a lot of weird trends, a lot of weird musical things going on. Yeah, it was interesting, but...
But you know who didn't have another one?
DJ Khaled.
No DJ Khaled.
No DJ Khaled.
Maybe for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, he may not have been on the list last year. I don't remember. But
still.
Yeah, DJ Khaled, a staple to our list, did not make it. Unfortunately, Drake did return.
Yes.
He did return. He's back.
He is back. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a weird year, like you said.
It was weird. There was a lot of country, even like female country, kind of made a return. We had some international, like Blackpink.
Right.
We had some obviously we had K-pop. There was not any Spanish songs.
No, but usually we have at least 1 or 2.
Yeah, so that was interesting.
Yeah.
Because Bad Bunny dominates the list a lot, but he had released his album last year, so that makes sense.
But at least we usually at least have like the one year we had like Grupo Frontero had that song.
Yeah.
Like we usually at least have like 1 or 2 artists on there, but
yeah, so it was like return of some, like Justin Bieber being like coming onto this list. You know, we had a lot of some artists from last year. We had Chappell Roan and Sabrina Carpenter. No Taylor Swift because her album just came out in October, which would mean maybe we'll see songs next year. It's possible if they roll over. But yeah, a lot of different variety of stuff, but obviously not super expansive because it's our lowest number. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get in.
Yes, let's get into it.
Let's do worst.
Yeah, I think we gotta do worst first.
Okay. I can start.
Okay. Do you have any honorable mentions that you would like to bring up?
I would like to say that I could have made a top 5 of Morgan Wallen. Or sorry, bottom 5 of Morgan Wallen.
I was gonna say,
I did not.
Top 5 Morgan Wallen.
Yeah. I held my cool on that, but you will hear some of him.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That seems fair.
Do you have any?
Yeah, let me pull up my list and then double check. I have 2. So, keeping in theme with last year, I have one Benson Boone song, Mystical Magical, that...
Mystical!
It's just...
magical!
Something about him as an artist. And I don't have a problem with this music. And I know because I talked about this last year, it was like, Hannah likes Beautiful Things, and I bet it's going to be on her playlist. And it was. And that was funny. I don't hate him as an artist. I just... Something about... Sometimes when he sings, I just, like, feel something in me, like, that I'm like, I just can't...
Joy.
No, not
Happiness.
joy. And then my other honorable mention is just because I don't like the sample is Anxiety by Doechii.
Yeah.
I like Doechii as an artist. Her last album that came out, I really enjoyed. But my problem is Anxiety takes too long to make it clear which song we're listening to. Somebody I used to know or Anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, it goes on for way too long, and I need it to be, like, 5 seconds, and then it's clear that this is not somebody that I used to know. So that's just a personal, like, I don't like that it does that. And I'm not, like, the song is fine, but that's why it's an honorable mention, because it's not, like, an awful song. I just don't, like, I feel like I'm being tricked every time I hear it. Now that I hear it, I'm like, which one is it? Right. And I have to keep waiting until I get to it.
Yeah.
All
right. Okay, I don't want to listen no more. Number 5 is Love Somebody by Morgan Wallen. Something about Morgan Wallen when he sings, it's like, I just don't like it.
Fair, yeah.
I think a lot of his lyrics, too, are very, like, I don't think he's a good writer.
Yeah, I don't know if he's writing his music either.
I don't know if he's writing or if someone else is writing. There's a song later on, spoiler, that the writing is the reason it's on the bottom 5.
Is there a mention about a gun?
Potentially? Okay. I can't remember, honestly.
I have a song, my number 1 song is also related to lyrics, specifically.
And I just don't, I'm not about him. He's kind of a horrible person. But I also think his music just sucks. And I don't think it's because I think he's a horrible person. I think I think separately his music also just sucks. So, yeah.
That's fair. All right, here's my number 5.
Cash is like, what is this shit?
The song is Worst Way by Riley Green. Country song. I'm not familiar with Riley Green. I don't know if he's a popular country artist or if he just kind of is one of those people that you just kind of hear one song. But basically the song is about how he wants to fuck his girlfriend, wife, lover, situationship, friend. I don't know. Unclear. Yeah. But it's basically like, I want to taste, the first drop of whiskey, I want to taste off your lips. And like, we're going to get down and dirty, shut the blinds, no one can see. No time for love. It's just sex. And I'm like, all right, I don't think we need this. And like, and the way it's just like, it's just like a slow country song. And I'm like, I don't need this context in this type of song.
Yeah.
I just also didn't like the song either.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4. These songs all sound the same. Yeah, this is All the Way, featuring Bailey Zimmerman, and it's Big X the Plug. When I first saw the song pop up, I thought it said butt plug for a second.
I also was like, butt plug?
Butt plug.
Yeah.
I think Bailey Zimmerman was on our list last year, the year prior.
So. I have seen the name before, yes.
I just don't like this. Certain artists have done a rap country combo and made it work.
Yeah. Not often, but
it's not often that it works, and I just don't think this one works.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Bailey Zimmerman's voice to me is just too nasally. Not a fan.
Yeah. Might hear that one again.
Okay.
Yeah, number 4, I also have the same number 4 song as Hannah, and All the Way, Big X the Plug, and Bailey Zimmerman. I would agree, but I don't know if I'd like a single rap country feature that I can think of. Like, I can't think of one that I'm like, that one worked well.
The only one I can think of that's like, it's not, I don't know if it's like rap, but it's the one with Tim McGraw and Nelly.
Oh,
it's like Over and Over or whatever that is. Maybe. That's kind of like a hip-hop country combo that I think is okay, but
yeah. I really like it. I think it rarely works. Maybe it's skewed because often it's Morgan Wallen doing a feature with a rap artist, and then I don't like him specifically. But yeah, I just didn't like it. The first time I heard it, I was like, this song is just like doing nothing. It's just giving nothing. It's not like a bad song in the sense of like that I'm like, ew. It's more just
There's
like, it's just nothing there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would agree.
Number 4. Number 3, we're going to take a pause from country.
Okay.
Every year there's a song that gives me anxiety. Mm-hmm. And this year it just happened to be Nokia by Drake, which is my number 3 song. Something about the like beat of it. Every year there's a song.
Yeah, I know. That
where I just feel anxious listening to it. I'm also not. There's some Drake songs that I like. I've never been a huge Drake fan, and I'm not really a fan of his new stuff he's been putting out.
Well, he also had a whole like.
Well, yes, he's also had a questionable / personal
also got
life.
Maybe the worst fall down from a diss track.
Got dissed.
Yeah. On a national stage, at the Super Bowl, it really does something. So
maybe that's also like tainted my view of his music. But yeah, I'm not a fan. I wasn't really a fan of any of his songs. I think there was like 2 or 3 on the list.
I think there were 3 total.
Yeah, and I was not a fan of any, but this one just like made me anxious. So
it's fair. Yeah, you do have your anxious song.
I do.
All right, here's my number 3. So number 3, I have Blue Strips by Jessie Murph. This artist is very similar to Benson Boone to me, where it's a boy, man, I just, like, that drives me insane. Yeah. And especially because it starts the song, when I heard it, I was like, oh, I was like, I don't like this. It's very jarring. Yeah. But I bet, I have based on the way your facial expression is going, that might be in your top 5, or an honorable mention in your top 4, your best of songs. 'Cause it feels like a Hannah artist in a way that I hate. Like, that's not for me. Like, that is not for me. Nothing against this artist specifically. It's just that, like, I don't know, something about that, like, just, like, it started grinding my gears. Something on it was not right. I didn't appreciate it.
Okay. My number 2. Kids Don't Smoke. Number 2 is 20 Cigarettes by Morgan Wallen. I think this song is horribly written. I think the writing's really bad. I think the song itself is really bad. I just don't like it at all.
That's fair.
The line about the Tito's, I'm like, he better not have a Tito sponsorship. We have not gotten ours.
I know, we're still waiting for our Tito sponsorship.
Based off that song, he doesn't deserve one. Yeah, and I just don't like Morgan Wallen. But yeah, that song just, like, was very, like, ugh. I don't like the pacing of it either. So
I considered this song. Okay. But it wasn't bad enough to make the list. But it was like, I was like, okay. It's like, I get the context of it. It's like, oh, just like a one night together and we're just strangers.
Again, like a lot of Morgan Wallen stuff, there's just nothing there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, my number 2.
Do my titties look right?
All right, the song is Which One by Drake featuring Central C. If you followed any of the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef from last year and into this year, one of the things that was said about Drake is that he tends to steal culture, like Atlanta culture or like, cultural appropriation. And in this song, he's singing with a Jamaican Caribbean accent.
Yeah.
Which obviously he's from Canada.
Right.
And when I heard this, I was just like, oh no. Yeah. I was like, the song itself is okay, but I was like, Drake, what are you doing? Right. Like, why are you putting on this accent? We all know that's not your real accent. So anyway, I just like, I can't support this for you, Drake.
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, okay.
Yeah. I do enjoy some of Drake's older music, but newer stuff I've not really been a fan of. Especially, I'm not a fan of this, so.
I am slightly offended you thought this would be on my top.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
Number 1 is Blue Strips by Jessie Murph. Yeah, I cannot stand that.
Okay, great.
That's
fine.
Very grating. It's very grating. The voice. It's also like, I feel like she's trying to be like, I don't know how to describe it. She's trying to be like a country version of like...
Almost like Miley Cyrus or something.
Right. It's just weird.
Yeah.
I don't think it sounds good. I think it's very annoying. If I had put this song in my top 5, I would have let you punch me in the face because it's just...
I don't know. It was giving like Benson Boone type of
Yes, but I think Benson Boone is more enjoyable than that.
That's fair. Fair. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
All right. My number 1. Number 1, I have Miami by Morgan Wallen featuring Lil Wayne and Rick Ross. Talk about some fucking awful writing.
Yeah.
These people don't know where I'm from. I can't even keep my gun in my truck. I can't even see stars in Miami. What's a redneck gonna do in Miami? And then my favorite is when we get to the chorus with Lil Wayne, when he says, I can't keep my gun in my truck, Lil Wayne says, I still keep my gun. And I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to? Right. It's like a slow country ballad about Miami featuring Lil Wayne and Rick Ross.
What a weird...
It's just like awful. It's awfully written. It sounds bad. I don't know. I was aghast when I heard this. I was like, this is immediately going on my bottom 5. Yeah. I didn't know where. And then eventually got to the point where I was like, this is the most egregious song to me when I was listening that I was like, this is offensive.
Yeah.
The lyrics are truly one of the worst choruses I have ever heard. But also, why are we in a trend of the chorus coming first now? Right. Because I feel like a lot of songs now are just like, we're starting with the chorus. And I'm like, we don't need to do that. Sometimes it works, but we don't need to do that.
Yeah.
So that's my hot take.
Yeah. All right. Anyway. Let's move on to best.
Yes.
I do have an honorable mention.
Okay, I do as well.
The song Mutt by Leon Thomas, which I believe came out last year, but...
It came out at the end of last year, but it didn't start to
It didn't really become, big until this year. I really enjoy that song.
Do you know who Leon Thomas is?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
I had to look him up, and I was like, oh, okay. Because I was like, who's Leon Thomas? And I was like, oh, he's from Victorious. Okay, yeah.
And I enjoyed the song. I also think... There was, Sabrina Carpenter. Mm-hmm. I did not put Man-Child on my list. I do like the song. Yeah. And she's kind of dominated, the songs of the summer. Mm-hmm. At least, last year, I feel like she did. But I enjoy her music. I didn't put her on there. My 2 honorable mentions.
I have 2, technically 3 as well. I also didn't put Man-Child on my list, but I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as some of the ones from last year. But I think she's making good music. My 2 honorable mentions are in a surprise twist. Sorry I'm Here for Someone Else by Benson Boone.
It was a good song.
I heard it and I went, okay, he can make good music.
It's also less angsty, screamy.
That one I listened to and I went, okay, I get it. I understand why people like him.
He's talented.
Yeah, it wasn't enough to get on my list, but I was like, I can put both in the honorable worst and the honorable best. My other one was Timeless by The Weeknd and Cardi B, not Cardi B, Playboy Cardi.
Yes.
That song I like, but it didn't feel like a song of the summer.
Agreed.
And it also came out, I think, in January of this year. I really like The Weeknd. He's been on my list in the past, but I was just like, I like the song, but it didn't feel like a song of the summer to me. So that's my other honorable mention.
Okay, number 5, which sneak peek I saw Alyssa had this on her list. Number 5 is The Subway by Chappell Roan. Chappell's been on these lists, been on my list before. I'm pretty sure it's been on Alyssa's list before. The Subway came out recently, within the last couple of months. So kind of does feel like a song of the summer for that reason. Yeah, I think Chappell just knows how to make great music, knows how to make catchy music. The first time I heard this song, I was like, oh yeah. And then the more times I listened to it, I was like, yeah, it's catchy. I don't know if it necessarily feels as song of the summer as Pink Pony Club or some of her other music, but I do really enjoy the song. And to me, it's kind of the vibe I want when I'm driving.
Yeah. Great. Number 5. Number 5, I also have The Subway by Chappell Roan. I agree with a lot of what you said, because I had been listening to Chappell Roan before she blew up. Some of her more slower, casual, some of those more slower songs. But then, I think last year I had Good Luck Babe. I had that on that might have been my number 1 song, actually. It was definitely in my top 5, and I think you had Pink Pony Club. Yep. So I really like Chappell Roan. I think she's a really talented artist. And I agree with what you said, though. That's why this is number 5, is because it doesn't necessarily feel like a song in the summer, but it's a good, love ballad that I really enjoyed. And it did come out in a summer time, so I wanted to include it, but that's why it's 5, is because it doesn't necessarily feel like a super song of the summer.
It's a nice windows down driving song.
It's a good nighttime
but not
summer.
the big
a night
hit.
Summer driving, you're kind of more mellow. Yeah
Okay, number 4. Okay, this song is called Love Me Not by Raven Lene, who I was not familiar with. I just really like this song. I think it has it kind of reminds me a little bit of the person, I can't remember their name, who sings Shark in the Water.
Oh, V.V. Brown.
Yeah. Kind of that vibe where it's a bit
reminds me of Duffy. Lucy,
yeah.
That
it's kind of got
sound.
a bit of an electric feel, but it's, I don't know, it has a good beat. I feel like this is a song that I have been listening to on and off past couple months, and it's a song that I would listen to in the car again. And I just liked it, and it's cool to see an artist who I'm not familiar with who has a big hit. So yeah.
Might hear that again. Maybe
maybe not.
All right, my number 4. All right, number 4, I have Golden by Hunter from K-pop. Huntrix. I was reading it, Huntrix.
Because the I is a slash.
That's right, yes. Huntrix from K-pop Demon Hunters. Yeah, so yesterday, Hannah and I actually watched this film because I was just there's 7 songs on this list. I just want to get the context. But this song was the one, when I was listening, I was like, this feels the most like a song of the summer. And it also was, at least in the Hot 100, in the number 1 spot for a period of time. I think this song is pretty good, even just independent from a movie soundtrack. Right. Because some of the songs on the soundtrack very much feel if you need context to kind of get the song. But this one, I feel kind of stands alone as just a song. Within the context, I get it more now, but I feel like it feels like a song this summer. It's upbeat. It's kind of fun. I kind of enjoy that we get like a weird K-pop dominance in the US charts right now. So I'm supportive of that. But yeah, number 4 is where felt right for me.
It's giving this song and some of the songs in the movie are very like Rina.
Yeah, there's
Sawayama. They kind of give me like the music, like production of it kind of reminds me a little bit of Hair music, which is cool. Okay. Yeah, number 3, I have Golden by Huntrix. I agree with Alyssa. Like I listened to this song. I listened to all the songs before I watched the movie, and this was the one that stuck out to me in terms of like a summer hit. And it does feel very like, it reminds me of like when Katy Perry used to have like her big like anthem hits.
Yeah,
that's kind of what it feels like, is like an anthem hit for the summer,
or like a Lady Gaga, like a Edge of Glory,
right?
Born
like a
This
big
Way.
like. Yeah. It kind of like grows, the song grows. Yeah. And so, yeah, I enjoy it. I thought the music from the movie was pretty good. I agree with you, though. Some of the songs, it's like, they only make sense within the context of the movie, which happens with musicals. It's kind of like, to me, like Defying Gravity.
Right.
Like, makes sense on its own as like just like this big song from Wicked. But yeah, so I enjoyed it. And so far, we've had 2 of the same songs.
We have. What if I said we had 3? Yeah, number 3, I have Love Me Not by Raven Lenae. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I also really liked this song, and I also was not familiar with the artist, because I looked her up, and I was like, who is it? Would I have heard anything else she's done? I really enjoyed it. It gave a lot of vibes of more like maybe 2010s, like late 2000s types of songs that kind of felt upbeat and like kind of simple, though. Like simple but upbeat, and like had a good vibe to it. And I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, oh, I like all these like kind of artists kind of getting like one song. There wasn't a lot of dominance of like, other than like Morgan Wallen and the K-pop soundtrack and Justin Bieber. Right. Most artists had like 1 or 2 songs, and it was a lot of different types of artists. Which is
cool to see.
Which I prefer that to like just albums upon albums of artists.
I didn't put hers on mine, but Lola Young.
Oh yeah.
I know she had a song on there, and I know she's kind of become more popular recently.
Right. But no, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, so I'd say it's rare that we have similar
songs of the
fives.
Summer.
Yeah,
we've had similar worst, but top usually is
top
different.
Pretty
so
different.
We've had 3 out of the 5.
We'll see what's next.
Okay,
yeah, we'll have to see.
Number 2.
I figured you would have.
I like the vibe.
I was like, this feels very Hannah. Yeah.
Yeah. Number 2, I have Back to Friends by Samber. This is kind of the music that I enjoy listening to. I remember when I heard the song first, I was like, I'm a fan. I like the kind of like the alternative,
it's like alt
rock indie. Yeah. I don't know what you'd classify it as exactly.
It's kind of like the 1975.
Right.
There's a lot of Colony House. What's the band Jack Antonoff was in? Bleachers.
Oh,
like kind of that
vibe.
Feel, yeah.
And when I first saw it, I actually thought the lead singer was Finn Wolfhard.
He looks a lot like him.
Just like
or
him,
like
and I know he can
Chalamet.
sing.
Looks a lot. Yeah. Looks a lot like
but
him.
I like it. His other song, he had another song on this list that I was like,
Undressed.
Yeah, which I was like, it's good. I just like the vibe. I like getting a new song by an artist who's like maybe not as well known and kind of just like comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But I just like the vibe of it. Again, kind of like a chill summer song I would listen to. I have listened to when I'm like cleaning my apartment.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed it.
Yeah. I did not put any somber on my list.
Okay, so we have one different.
Yeah, I enjoyed the songs, but I also had listened to some of his album, and I honestly liked some of those songs more than I liked those 2. So I don't dislike the artist, but
yep.
Yeah. All right. Number 2. Number 2, I have Mutt by Leon Thomas, which was in your honorable mentions. I really liked this song.
Good, yeah.
The first time I heard it, I was like, do I know this artist? Because I was like, this is really good. And then I looked up and I'm like, oh, it's a guy from Victorious. And I was like, I do recognize him. Like, I recognized him then. I think it's just like, it's a really like kind of almost like R&B,
like
but not quite.
Bit.
Not quite.
It kind
R&B,
of is like a little bit like Frank Ocean.
It's kind of Frank Ocean,
like kind of the chiller.
Yeah, like a little bit more like laid back, but good vocals. I will say there is a version of this song that features Chris Brown, which I will not be listening to.
Not support.
When I went to go to the artist's Spotify page, I went, oh god, I was like, come on,
not Chris Brown.
So anyway, I'll listen to the version without Chris Brown. I refuse to listen to the version with Chris Brown on it.
Yeah.
Because I really don't understand how he's still making music with artists today, but that's none of my business. I just really liked it. I thought it was a really good song. I've been listening to it just like on my own. I didn't hear it until I listened to this list, but then I've added it to playlists. Because it's kind of like a nice, like good driving, like kind of like a night driving song like the subway. Yeah. It's just like a nice chill song.
Yeah.
I'm really curious what your number one is. Yeah. Because I don't know if it's going to be the same. Okay. I'm not sure.
We're about to find out.
We're about to find out, yeah.
It's at least not on your bottom 5. I know that.
Okay.
Okay. My number 1 is it just called Opt?
Apartment? I think it's
Apartment.
APT for apartment.
APT.
To my understanding, that's how it's supposed to be pronounced.
By Rose and Bruno Mars. Mm-hmm. Rose. Is it just Rose?
I think it's Rose.
There's like a thing over there.
I think it's Rose.
Anyways,
she's from one of the K-pop groups. I don't remember which one.
I know this song came out, I think, last year.
Yes.
But this is, like, really the first summer I've heard it, like, popularized. Right. And so, I don't know. To me, it really does feel like a song of the summer. Like, the energy. It's obviously very heavily Bruno Mars produced, you can tell, because it sounds just like the Runaway Baby backing. Yeah. I don't know. I enjoy it. I think Bruno Mars kind of has a knack for making very catchy songs. Like Die With A Smile we saw, and like all of his songs he's done in the past. They're very catchy. And I don't know, I enjoyed it. I thought, to me, this is a song that, one of the only songs on this playlist that I would like put on and like dance to, like that has the music of that. So I enjoyed it. I went back and forth because I'm like, I don't know if it's a song of the summer because it came out, but this list was hard because there was a lot of random songs. But so that was my number 1.
I do like this song, but I've been listening to it for a long time.
See, and I just recently discovered it more, so that
But this is kind of like, because I included one year a Taylor Swift song.
Yeah, you did Cruel Summer, which I had been listening to for like...
because I had not really heard that album.
So kind of similar.
So that feels like a
all about when you like discover it.
Yeah, so that's, I do like the song, but I have been listening to it for quite a while, so I didn't feel like a song of the summer for me. All right. Now it's time for my number 1.
Yeah.
Number 1, I have Jealous Type by Doja Cat.
Yeah.
This song snuck in the last week, so I had some reservations. I'm like, can I still put it as number 1, even though it literally snuck in the last week?
I mean...
But I was like, you know what? It's a good song.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. So I know, like, Doja Cat's a controversial person because she's talked about how much she hates her old music, and she's like, if you like my old music, like I don't care about my fans who care about this music, you know, and whatnot. But she knows how to make a pop album.
She does.
Like, she makes some good pop music. I loved, like Say So, and I think I had Kiss Me More has been on my top list. Maybe that was my number 1 song one year. Like, when she is making a pop album, this new album, I think it just came out, like, last week.
Yeah.
Is very 80s influence, and I have always been a fan of the 80s resurgence pop. Like, The Weeknd's done a lot of 80s pop resurgence. I'm a fan of that. So, this song really snuck in, and I've been listening to it a lot since then, and I'm like, this feels very, like, song of the summer, kind of upbeat dance, like, pop type album that I like, so it snuck in.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was a good song.
Yeah.
Okay, my bottom 5 are Love Somebody by Morgan Wallen, All the Way by Big X The Plug, featuring Bailey Zimmerman, Nokia by Drake, 20 Cigarettes by Morgan Wallen, and Blue Stripes by Jesse Murph.
And then my bottom 5 is Worst Way by Riley Green, All the Way by Big X The Plug, plus Bailey Zimmerman. 3 is Blue Strips by Jesse Murph. 2 is Which One with Drake and Central C. And my number 1 is Miami, Morgan Wallen featuring Lil Wayne and Rick Ross.
Top 5, I have number 5 is The Subway by Chappell Roan. 4, Love Me Not by Raven Lene, Golden by Huntrix, Back to Friends by Somber, and Apartment by Rose and Bruno Mars.
And then my top 5, I have The Subway by Chappell Roan, Golden by Huntrix, 3 is Love Me Not by Raven Lene, 2, Mutt by Leon Thomas, and number 1, Jealous Type by Doja Cat. Yeah, so it's interesting that our 3 through 5 were all the same, and then our top 2 were different, but I feel like that's pretty common. Like, we usually don't have the same number 1 song.
Yeah, I mean, we did have more top 5 than I thought, but I think that kind of speaks to this list of, like, there not being a ton of songs I would consider, like, very big summer songs.
Yeah, because there were songs that I like, this is fine. Like, even some of the country, I was like, this is fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. You know, I'm not like...
I know, because there was a song by, I can't remember who, it was like a female country artist, like something about the wind.
Yeah.
And I thought that song was okay.
Fine.
It was like folky. Fine. I was like, yeah, this is fine. But yeah, I think overall kind of a Probably in terms of all of our 5 lists, maybe my least favorite.
Yeah, it might be.
Like, or tied for...
Last year, it was...
Last year was very
so
hard
many
to
songs.
pick a...
It was hard.
There was a lot of good songs.
There's a lot of good stuff last year. Yeah, I had a really hard time, I remember. So
and then I think about that first year or second year when Olivia Rodrigo was coming out, and it was like, I feel like that was a good list. And there was also like BTS. And so, yeah, again... I love doing a song of the summer.
I enjoy doing this because it's different every year.
And you didn't have to... There was only one Luke Bryan.
There was.
But no Luke...
No Zach?
No Zach Bryan. Oh, no, I think there was one Zach Bryan.
Yeah.
Sorry, no Luke... Now I'm confused
Now
myself.
You're doing it,
No Luke Bryan. There was no... Who else did you confuse last year?
I don't know. A lot.
Anyways.
Yeah. There's
Zach Brown. You said Zach
Brown.
Brown.
Yeah.
I
didn't have to confuse country artists this year.
Just all
Morgan Wallen.
Yeah.
Just all Morgan Wallen.
I'm sure we'll be back next year with another Songs of the Summer. Right. Let's hope it's a little bit better.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, it's it was interesting because I think the first half of the summer list was not promising. And then the second half really picked up. Like, that's when all the K-pop Demon Hunter songs got added, was in the second half. And a couple of the songs, like, I think also got added the second half that are on my list.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. All right, well.
If you want to reach us, we have an Instagram account, R3Podcasts. We also have a Gmail, r3podcasts@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. You can reach out to us, questions, comments, concerns. If you have any suggestions, we take those. We have a Letterboxd account for any of our movie ranking lists that you can check out. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
We would like to thank Joseph McDade for our intro music. He provides free music available for all kinds of creative use. The song that we used is called Sunrise Expedition, and you can find it and his other music on his website, josephmcdade.com. If you would like to reach us, you can email us at r3podcasts@gmail.com. That's R, the number 3, podcasts@gmail.com. Or you can find us on Instagram by searching Research Rank Repeat.
Pizza, puppies, penis,
poopies, pondering, pumpkins.